limited, and please swim with the sharks.
She's traveling through the wild. She's searching for the truth. True nature's child. She's gonna find the proof. Picking up the trail. She's gonna find the answers. She's gonna tell the tale. She's gonna tell the tale. Keep it wild. Keep it free. This could be our last chance to see.
Today, Wild Limited has a story of tales and teeth. Our location, the Eastern Cape city of Port Elizabeth. Lapped by the warm waters of the Indian Ocean, it enjoys an abundance of ocean life to be appreciated up close at the city's Bay World Oceanarium. The large dolphin lake at Bay World is the focal point of the oceanarium. It contains almost 5 million litres of filtered seawater and is one of the largest lakes in the Southern Hemisphere. To tell a tale, Bay World was once home to Dolly, the oldest Indian Ocean Bottlenose dolphin to be born and bred in captivity. Dolly died in 2005 at the age of 36. An icon of Bay World, Dolly gave birth to a number of calves, including Dumisa, who was fathered by Domino. Dolly and baby Dumisa shared a strong bond, never leaving each other's sides. And right from birth, Dolly seemed happy to show off her new calf instead of hiding it from curious onlookers as she had with previous calves. When Dolly died suddenly, Dumisa was just 5 months old. Dolphin calves will suckle for a good 2 to 3 years before they are weaned, and this posed an immediate and urgent problem for the Bay World staff. Having lost her primary source of both nourishment and nurture, Dumisa lost condition rapidly, and her immunity was severely compromised in spite of the staff's best efforts. It was touch and go. Dumisa was taught to be fed by tube every 2 hours for 16 hours each day. 4 staff members were at her side during every feed. 3 months later, Dumisa had mastered the tube and she could now feed with minimal human assistance. But the problem didn't stop there. For a long time, Dumisa's health was under the spotlight and everybody was concerned. She required 24-hour monitoring and specialized veterinary care as her health slowly but surely stabilized and improved.
Again, give him a big welcome.
3 years down the line, Dumisa is a bright, inquisitive, and friendly little dolphin, shadowing Dad Domino's every move. With training and education a major focus of Bay World, Dumisa is very keen to play her part, learning fast and mimicking Domino's tricks and turns and reveling in the applause at public performances. Dolphins communicate by echolocation, which we humans hear as a series of clicks and whistles produced by 6 air sacs near their blowhole. They also communicate with body movements, like the slapping of their head or tail flicks on the water. Bottlenose dolphins are the most common and well-known dolphin species. They're known for their friendly character and curiosity, and are adaptable to captivity and human interaction. This has made them familiar stars of oceanarium displays around the world. And bottlenose dolphins are social and, as you can see, very playful. Leaping high out of the water and surfacing in the shore waves. Their spectacular crowd-pleasing leaps are natural behavior in the wild, and they often leap clear of the water when traveling at speed. Due to air's density being less than that of water, they're able to travel fast through the air and splash a few people en route.
Robin Hreiling has got one of the most awesome jobs on the planet. She's part of a select group who know how to train dolphins and also knows their secret language.
Robin, you're using a lot of hand signals to communicate. How do you get them to do a tail flap?
Basically, we start with a behavior like that and we train it backwards. We'd first teach the dolphin to touch a target with his tail, so he gets the idea we want him to move it, and gradually we put it to a signal. So eventually, when I'm standing doing a presentation, I'd look at Domino and say, tail step. And there's a cue for each behavior we want the animal to do. So if I want him to sing or vocalize for you, my cue is that, 2 fingers. Just simple. If I want him to pull his tongue, that's the cue. So it's very simple. The problem comes if he doesn't have a relationship with you, he won't do the behavior at a really high criteria. He'll give you a jump, but it won't be an awesome jump. It'll just be a jump. You need to have a relationship to get the really good behaviors. And our first interaction, like with Dumisa, is actually just encourage an animal to come to you. And your first thing is a touch. When you've got the touch, you move on. When an animal's older and it's eating, we can use food, but even then you need to first have a little bit of a relationship before you can build the trust for the food.
With Robin's training dominated by hand signals, it's important to know that dolphins have sharp eyesight. Their eyes are located on the sides of their head, with horseshoe-shaped double-slit pupils, which enables them to have good vision both in and out of the water. Quite unusual, and I wish we had that.
Dumisa's an orphan. Her mother died. What happened?
Well, Dumisa, she was born to her mother, who was already a pretty old animal. Her mother was the famous Dolly dolphin. She was the oldest dolphin, both conceived and born in an oceanarium anywhere in the world. So we're very proud of her. She was born in '68, and she died at an age of 36, leaving us with a little calf, 5 months old, that was still suckling, hadn't been handled. And that was a bit of a challenge, because baby dolphins usually suckle for 3 years, and they only start taking solid food around 10 months. Was her whole world turned upside down. Her little body just couldn't, it was battling to adjust to all of this. She lost all her natural immunity. Her blood work showed that she had very little immunity to anything. So we're still building. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. She's celebrated her 3rd birthday recently, and it's looking good. Her weight is gaining, she's eating well, she's performing as you've seen.
It also seems like she learns a lot from her dad, Domino.
Yes, that's natural. Baby dolphins learn almost everything they do from mimic behavior, watching and copying the other females. She would normally be in a group with a mommy, an older sister, and a couple of auntie dolphins. So she would have lots to watch, as an example, and other babies to play with. So her situation is very unique in that she's got a male dolphin as her role model. We're very fortunate. Our male dolphin is a super animal. He's not aggressive and typical of many male dolphins.
Bottlenose dolphins have elongated upper and lower jaws, which give the animal their name. And they're also distinctive for their charismatic smile. Adults reach a length of around 2.5 meters and weigh around 200 kilograms, with the calves weighing just 13 kilograms and being about a meter long at birth. The dolphin's flukes or tail lobes and dorsal fin are made of dense connective tissue with no bones or muscle. Dolphins propel forward by moving their flukes up and down. The pectoral fins at the sides of the body are there for steering. And of course, nothing wrong with a lot of good applause. They do love it and show their appreciation in turn.
We just got splashed by Domino. It was cool.
Dolphins have been known to fight back against sharks, but it's not that easy to fight back against human predation. Killing dolphins for food or sport.
She's searching for the truth.
It's Domino's weekly health check, and Dr. Andrew McKay is making a house call. The aim, to check for diseases before the animals start showing symptoms. Why? Well, you can't put a price to these dolphins. Domino's training has made him an exceptional animal, and he's simply irreplaceable.
The dolphins at Bay World are constantly monitored for signs of change that might indicate illness or disease.
And the purpose of what we've just done, Robin?
Just if they ever get sick, they stop eating and they get all their moisture from their fish.
Weekly blood samples, stool samples, samples of stomach contents and mucus samples are all a part of the procedure. With an insight beyond our understanding, Domino endures the checks patiently with no fuss.
Domino is an Indian Ocean Bottlenose Dolphin, and right now you've got an amazing sight of his belly, which you'll see is loaded with freckles. Well, the older this species of dolphin get, the more freckles they have on their abdomen.
The checkup is concluded with a trip to the scale for Domino. Yep, it's the weekly weigh-in.
Dr. McKay, don't you think it's incredible how well trained they are, that they just come forward for all this medical attention?
It is amazing. I mean, she knows full well that in a minute or so we're going to put a needle into her tail, and yet she's still quite happy to present herself. It's quite amazing.
The dolphins are weighed once a week to check for any variations. Weight loss is an immediate potential indicator of a more serious problem, which can then be investigated through more testing or monitoring. While these checks can be fairly strenuous for the dolphins, their training, or perhaps their intuition, ensures that they endure the time quietly. Dolphins are mammals and don't breathe underwater. Every 5 to 8 minutes, the dolphins have to rise to the surface to breathe through their blowhole. On average, though, they breathe more often, up to several times a minute.
Taking blood is the best way to detect at an early stage any infection or inflammation that there might be in the animal.
The numerous blood samples are then sent to labs for testing.
We've got a great view here of the dolphin's tail. Now, out of interest, when a baby is born, it comes into the world tail first. And this is after a fairly lengthy 12-month gestation period.
A dolphin's birth is live, usually in shallow water and often assisted by a midwife, which might well be a male. And the males are not involved with the raising of their offspring, making Domino a unique single-dad dolphin to Dumisa. And with him done for the day, it's young Dumisa's turn to be checked by the team.
You're looking at a shot of a dolphin's eye. Now, these eyes are incredible. They can see well, both below and above the surface of water, simply by changing the shape of the lens. Kalani, you're taking such good care of Domino, and I see that you're holding the front of his head. Does that make him feel secure?
Yeah, that's the best way to station. Yeah, so we always open a hand so that it can attach here.
Kalani, can we get a shot inside the dolphin's mouth so we can see his teeth?
Okay, no problem with it. All right, my boy.
Dolphins only have one set of teeth in their lifetime. These peg-like teeth help to grasp food, which is mainly small fish, squid, crabs, and other sea creatures. But those teeth are not used to chew.
Robin, how did everything go?
Well, I'm very happy. We managed to get all the samples we needed for the lab. I've got a lot of young and new staff that they got exposure to a vet morning, which was great. The animals behaved well. Perfect.